So Throne and Liberty is a game that I wanted to check out myself for quite some time now, since you guys have talked about it so much in the comments. But at the same time, whenever I came close to do so, you told me like, no, like, don't touch it, it's bad. So today I really wanted to check out a video about why this game has fallen so hard, because I heard it had an explosive launch and then it kinda fell into obscurity. And I'm really interested in understanding why, because I haven't really checked anything about this game and I don't know much about it. So it's going to be very interesting to understand what kind of went on.
Throne and Liberty is a breathtaking contradiction. A MMORPG that dazzles
It
with
looks
beauty,
good,
but falters under the weight of its own design
of course.
ironies.
Crafting
It
systems,
roared
you
into
love
the
them.
MMO scene with over 150,000 concurrent players, proving
damn.
that a massive audience still craves immersive, responsive virtual worlds.
The fall of the game was steep, but I mean 10k players concurrent, it's still, I think, manageable, right? I'm not really sure. I'm not an MMO developer. They are costly to maintain, that is for certain. But I don't know, the numbers aren't that bad. I thought it would be way worse.
Yet, within a year, the game had lost nearly 90% of its player base.
It happens
In
with
this
most
video,
games,
we'll
to be
trace
fair.
the last embers of hope for Throne and Liberty, a visually stunning
But MMOs do
MMORPG
live and die by
that even in
retention.
2025
That is right.
Remains defined more by its wasted potential than its success.
All of these systems, you gotta love it. I bet the game downfall was having too many systems, just like any other Eastern MMO out there. Man, they sure love their systems. You gotta be right about that. And also, it must have been pay to win, but we're not really sure yet, so, you know, let's wait and see. It looks good, though, and sounds incredible as well, by the way.
Its designers deserve summa cum laude recognition, and Silicium, the game's world, should be studied as an example of how to craft a rich, immersive virtual environment. From the rolling hills of the Goldenrod pastures, just beyond the bustling city of Castleton, to the rosy finger bloom of the nestling ground flora, the ocean
Man,
expanse.
it sucks watching a game like this it looks so good, and then you know it's going to be bad, and you're not even bother trying it. It's just like looking at the juiciest burger in front of you just to take a bite of it and realize it tastes like crap. It sucks so bad.
Of the Moonlight Desert, teeming with opportunistic wildlife. In the forest of the Great Tree, locked in an internal struggle against the relentless Trollfolk, it's a visual odyssey. Each region is its own theater of conflict, painstakingly crafted to be a genuine joy to explore. Every creature feels like a natural extension of its biome. Each a performer on a stage.
Damn, combat looks good. It looks great.
Commentators have rightfully praised the game for its striking visual appeal too.
It's got like a realist.
God damn, it looks insane.
Gorgeous. Oh my god.
Yeah, I really love the sense of scale the game gives you. It truly makes you feel small in a big world. We lost that in current MMOs. I love the fact that they actually done that. Again, just so unfortunate to hear what comes next.
Enjoyable moments came from forgetting the main quest existed entirely and simply exploring the open, seamless world. Yet the depth of that appreciation was overcome by a crushing realization. None of it even mattered.
Of course. Of course it didn't.
Good world design is modal. A living space meant to encourage return visits rather than be abandoned after a level bracket is cleared. This is hardly a new concept for successful MMOs. Early EverQuest encouraged players to revisit starter zones later in the game to grind city guards for experience, while Guild Wars 2 introduced dynamic downscaling to keep older regions relevant for max level characters.
Every region is playable.
Breaking the logic of its world. Both approaches, while different, solve the same problem. Throne and Liberty does neither. You level so quickly that most early zones, despite their masterful presentation, pass by in a blur.
And you never come back to them, I guess.
After outleveling them feels mechanically discouraged. The player's awareness of greater rewards elsewhere undermines any sense of purpose in going back. Even the game's fantastic open-world group dungeons, brilliantly designed, and another painful reminder of their wasted potential, are largely abandoned by the community.
And this is something that every MMORPG out there struggles with, like incentivizing the players to go back and interact with lower level people and actually give them reason to go back to lower level zones. Now, this is something that World of Warcraft actually struggles with as well. Especially with, like, if you look at Classic, there's no reason to go back, right? Once you're done with a certain area, like, you're done. And that's why you have an ult problem, where if you open an ult, it's rare that you can find a group to even run a dungeon with unless you're part of a guild that does the same. But yeah, this is something that MMOs have been trying to solve. I think Guild Wars 2 has done the best possible thing so far, which they made levels, well, just unnecessary, and you have level scaling inside the game, which usually I'm against. But, you know, for the sake of gameplay and immersion, I'm willing to make a few sacrifices, right? So level scaling is fine in that regard. But yeah, I mean, most MMOs do struggle with that. It is what it is. It's just nature of the beast, right? Once you hit a certain level cap, there's no reason really to look back, because you're not gonna kill some monsters that are 20 levels below you if you're not gonna gain something out of that.
Extremely few exceptions, not because they aren't fun, but because the various progression systems are completely divorced from the logic of the world itself. We'll explore the details later, but it's clear that two conflicting
you can
design
tell it's going to be bad.
were battling during development. One aimed at crafting a deeply engaging virtual world, and another driven by analytics.
Man, why does every Eastern MMO has to do this? I hate that. All of these buttons, like daily, week, always, like, who cares? Dude, nuke all of that. It's irrelevant. It's not fun. Looking at all of these screens and trying to make you, like, get cheap dopamine rushes, it's so cringe. I really wish, honestly, I always said this, the next big MMORPG is mostly to come from an Eastern company, because it wouldn't be from Western one, I can guarantee you that, with the mentality we currently have going on here. But please, guys, it can't come soon enough, okay? I want an MMORPG that will blow my mind away. Like, please, can you just wake up and cut all of that out and just make a good MMO? I beg of you. I'm willing to pay. Just please, give me that option.
Some MBA with a spreadsheet optimizing player retention.
Yeah.
It's this.
They love their spreadsheets.
This fundamental divorce in design intent that ultimately led me to stop playing and largely explains why the player population has plummeted since release.
Yeah, nobody want to play obscure
Beyond
systems.
its renowned level design, the game also demonstrates remarkable fluidity. Each transition feels seamless and natural. In particular, is Thrown in Liberty's morph system. It transforms players into different animals depending on whether they sprint, swim, or fly. The transformation
so everyone's
process
a druid?
is delightful and frictionless,
What?
far more so than Guild Wars 2, in which you often struggle to select the intended beast to ride.
Bro, what? Who struggled with that? Guild Wars 2 literally elevated a craft to a level which no one has managed to reach. Like, what are you talking about? The mount system in Guild Wars 2 is superior to everything else on the market right now. It's so good. It is so good, it's so extensive, and the fact that you can upgrade, I believe, each mount by collecting certain achievements is crazy. Like, it's really insane.
In a charming
Nothing
use
come
of fauna,
close.
Players can learn to polymorph into various creatures, and as they collect more forms, each morph becomes increasingly efficient.
Oh.
However, despite the sheer joy of movement, the efficiency benefits merely shift the goalposts rather than enhance the mechanic's core functionality. This is where Guild Wars 2 and even modern World of Warcraft, whose mount system ultimately is.
And WoW screwed that as well. They copied their homework from Guild Wars 2 and still managed to fail. That's crazy. But hey, you know what? If a company can do that, it can be Blizzard.
The derivative of Guild Wars 2 easily.
You know they're the best.
Thrown in Liberty.
Another unexpected disappointment is the complete absence of underwater swimming.
While it's easy to forgive Guild Wars 1 for lacking a jump feature given its age, Thrown in Liberty...
To be fair, they kind of made up for it by making Guild Wars 2 the most notorious jump game ever with all of the jumping puzzles and vistas you need to reach. So I guess that kind of makes up for it, right?
The mission is far less excusable. The inability to dive beneath the surface not only diminishes the swimming morph's potential, but also undermines the sense of realism within its otherwise breathtaking world. It leaves players wondering what other details may be missing from this gorgeous yet curiously limited environment. Furthermore, the morph system replaces what otherwise could be a delightful mount system and forces every player to be functionally a limited druid.
Yeah, exactly.
If morphs had more abilities or
it's kind of
ways
out of
with
place
which to play with the world, then this trade-off would be acceptable, but it fails at fully delivering the former while explicitly denying the latter.
I love the sound design of like the wind
An
and stuff.
adjacent observation is the absence of a true climbing system. For a MMORPG that prides itself on a vast, open, seamless world, players are confined to scaling predetermined, albeit entertaining, hooks that vault them skyward.
Yeah, he's right. That does limit the game functionability, where you have like this huge world with massive sense of scalability. And then when you actually play and practice, it just really those predetermined hooks, hook things, which you need to hook yourself into and grapple. And that's it. Like, it's weird. It hurts gameplay and immersion by a ton. I agree with that. That's a good point.
Result reveals the game's central irony. It invites you to believe in its freedom, even as it chains you to its illusion.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, its armor design is faultless. Each material is beautifully realized within the game.
It looks good. The armor looks fantastic.
In a naturally elegant way. From the heights of whimsy to grounded simplicity, the equipment adventurers use feels like a natural manifestation of Silicium. In fact, they are so well designed that I wasn't even disappointed when comparing their aesthetics to what's available in the cash shop. A truly free-to-play player can still express themselves with dynamic force available through typical play. However, as of this recording, there remains a baffling omission: a fully realized transmog system. Strangely, while players can selectively alter
for an
their
Eastern
equipment's
MMO,
appearance, the feature is so restricted that it feels half-finished despite visually implying otherwise. Much like learning new morphs, you can unlock special transmogs through quests or purchase cosmetics via the cash shop, yet you cannot freely swap appearances with gear you've already earned or crafted.
This
Wow,
limitation
that's surprising.
feels archaic for a modern MMORPG, especially even when Age of Conan, a 20-year-old Funcom title in
God
maintenance
bless.
mode, offers a more flexible system.
And since we brought up the cash shop, it's worth
please tell me it's
briefly
pay to
reviewing
win.
Fern and Liberty's
Please tell me it's
monetization
pay to
model.
win.
Technically speaking, the game is pay to win.
Yes, I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so this is why the game fall. Yeah, I understand now. It makes sense. I knew it. Man, I knew it. Because you need to understand, all of these systems and bad implementations pale in comparison to pay to win element. Whenever you have pay to win inside your game, naturally it's just going to crumble. Because the only players who are going to remain are just whales. And that's it. And the game is going to be sustained by them and live and die by them. So that means the developers have to eventually cater to them. Otherwise, their game will just fall and crumble, right? But whenever you build a game that is more meant for... I don't want to use the casual word here. I'm just going to use like the average player. You will have a successful MMO. Because that's where the 70 to 80% of people lie on. And most of the time, they can cough up a few bucks to play a video game that they enjoy. So you would be... Whoa, God, Jesus, what a voice crack. You would be sustainable. And also, you'll have freedom in development. Because you won't have to cater to a certain type of people that are only 1%ers.
In the sense that paying players have a material advantage directly enhanced by the degree to which they fiscally invest into the game. But criticizing here feels like complaining that a sword is sharp. While I prefer subscription-based MMOs that offer equal access to gameplay,
yes,
I recognize the economic reality that large-scale online worlds require substantial ongoing revenue to remain operational.
So why Where Winds Meet is free? The game is literally free. It offers the best experience out there in terms of Souls-like games and some MMOs that I've played that actually costed money, and it's completely free. Now, you can argue that the gacha system is super predatory and the most predatory gacha you've ever seen in any video game whatsoever, and I would agree with you on that. That is true. But if the price for this incredible game to be free is a person whaling out a $40,000 boat, that's a price that I'm willing to take.
There's a reason even subscription titles like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft operate cash shops. To put it in perspective, World of Warcraft once made an estimated $15 million from a single mount.
I remember that. I actually remember that. It's such a dark memory. I can't believe he actually spoke about this. And it just goes to show why Blizzard keep doing this even though they're getting so much backlash. It's because people are actually paying. And this is something that I spoke so vehemently about in the past. Nowadays, I just lost all the willpower to do so because you can't reach the players. The WoW community has completely lost its soul and its mind. They're basically just Arthas trolls right now, and Arthas is long gone. Arthas, sorry, I said it like an idiot. I don't want to, smidge my homeboy name here because I love Arthas. He's the best character ever, and thank God he died before the game became what it is. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, they're ghouls. You cannot speak to them. And it's so crazy they're willing to pay. And Blizzard is about to bring out some new shiny mount with each expansion. And they are going to gobble it up. Recently, they actually made level boost for TBC, the upcoming TBC expansion that is being re-released for the second time. And I'm betting that if they release the number of people that actually purchase this, we're all in for a surprise. It's going to be insanely high. I truly believe that.
Roughly
And that's what they're
equivalent
going to keep
to 1
doing
million
until the end of time.
subscriptions, or 300,000 fully priced box sales. Many smaller
Insane.
MMOs would envy that kind of lifetime revenue. With that context in mind, if you intend to play Throne and Liberty competitively, its various subscriptions are mandatory.
Oh, you have
Paid
multiple
bonuses
subscriptions?
aside, the most glaring restriction for free-to-play players is the inability to access the auction house. There's
What?
no player-to-player trading at all, and its entire economy is gated behind premium currency.
No way. Wow. I thought pay to win was bad in like other video games, but they have elevated the craft. They're preventing crucial, essential features from you, and they're actually paywalling it? Bro, Blizzard, you gotta take notes. You need to step up the playing field. They're outdoing you.
Black Desert
Oh my
Online may
God.
limit direct trade too.
That's
But
crazy.
at least it allows every player, subscribed or not, to participate freely in its central market. To be fair, like Albion Online, Throne and Liberty offers temporary premium status as players advance through certain story milestones. And I never felt disadvantaged during PvE content as a free
Wow.
player. Over 30 hours of solid gameplay for nothing more than the cost of electricity and basic wear and tear feels more than a fair trade. For most casual MMO players, I wasn't particularly alarmed by its monetization model, but if you plan to make Throne and Liberty your primary MMORPG, be prepared to match your ambition to your wallet.
Exactly, and that's what hurts longevity, which MMOs live and die by, because you want MMO to have players keep coming back to it every single time. And you want MMO players to be invested into the game, but if you can only play for 30 hours and then that's it, you need to just start spending and swiping your credit card like a madman, then nobody's really going to stick into this game, and nobody's really going to start it in the first place. What the hell?
Still, money aside, Throne and Liberty knows how to make a first impression. It's one of the most gripping and visually striking onboarding experiences I've ever encountered in any MMO. Immediately following the remarkable accessibility-sensitive technical onboarding, a surprisingly
That's
useful
good.
cinematic plays.
These
What's
are important.
narratively impressive is that every moment has a purpose. Elemental orbs later become key story items. Golems appear in castle defenses. It also introduces the newest weapon type, the orb, that blends range management and area denial.
Damn.
For both new and returning players, this opening sequence sets the tone beautifully.
It
One
looks
of
good. The
Throne and
cinematics are
Liberty's
fire.
strongest offerings is how seamlessly it blends cinematic presentation with natural gameplay. Throughout my 30-hour journey, I found myself
To be fair, Eastern MMOs were always known for like being so cinematic, and this is something that I actually wish Western MMOs would have learned from them, because in Western MMOs it's just like, oh, like click, and then a screen pops up, and then you click on it, and then the screen fades away, and that's it. They never do like cool transitions, because I guess they don't care about that. They don't care about all of this stuff, they just care about functionality. And with Eastern MMO, it's kind of different. They care about the theatrics more than the actual gameplay. And I really wish both, Western and Eastern could learn from each other, and then a perfect MMO would emerge. But it never happens. Like, I don't know why.
repeatedly stunned. What I was watching looked like a film, yet it was entirely playable. The experience places the player inside a movie, erasing the traditional divide between cutscene and agency in a way that feels effortlessly immersive.
Oh, damn. Turned him into Shrek. Let's go. Man, the
Yet,
orcs speak
a word of
Korean?
caution. In the top left corner of the server selection screen,
They're
you'll
smart.
notice a hyper boosting option, highlighted as if it's the recommended choice. Throne and Liberty shines brightest when players band together to overcome open world challenges. But these realms are comparatively empty, and the accelerated leveling pace rushes you through the game so quickly that you start to wonder why the developers spent so much time crafting these stunning zones, or why a leveling system exists at all. Be that as it may, the next cinematic begins, introducing you as Starborn, a title that sounds profound until we all remember that technically everybody is. The comparison to Dragon Age Inquisition's Inker is apt. You're special because the script says so. Perhaps veteran players can clarify, but the opening cinematic introduces what seems to be a major antagonist, one who never reappears during the leveling process. New players may not realize this at first, but her absence becomes increasingly conspicuous. She's either forgotten later or reintroduced forgettably. The character creator, however, redeems this section through both usability and artistry. It's robust, intuitive, and visually responsive. Skin.
But is it as good as Where Winds Meet in Black Desert? Who knows? I'm still baffled by these two. They completely elevated the craft. I think that going on forward, I can't really go into character customization and call it good unless it's on Where Winds Meet level. It's so insane. You can even put a picture of yourself and the game would try its best to actually emulate that facial features of yours. And this is insane. Like, it worked kind of good for me, but maybe it worked better for other people, which is so insane. Like, the technology now and stuff, it's absolutely mind-boggling what you can do in the future. I really hope more Western MMOs would actually learn from that, because character customization is important, because usually in these type of games, I like making a character that kind of looks like myself. It makes me feel inside of the game, it makes me more immersed, and I really wish we could do that more in various video games in the future.
Hair and cloth
not only
reflecting
MMOs.
the engine's soft global illumination. This moment perfectly illustrates what I mean when I say the veil between gameplay and cinema is nearly invisible.
Damn, that was a sick transition. God bless. Creature design is fire as well. Why do I voice crack? I'm getting excited, guys. I'm sorry. Please don't laugh at me. Or please do. I deserve that. Kill him.
The user interface is refreshingly minimal for an Eastern MMORPG, and most noteworthy, it briefly introduces a feature that, in my opinion, Throne and Liberty executes better than any MMO I've ever played.
Oh, dynamic
Blocking.
like comment. Oh, you have blocking?
Most MMOs
What?
rely on dice rolls or temporary defensive stances to simulate.
You have
blocking.
active block?
Throne and Liberty, however, transforms defense into an active skill. Something any martial artist instinctively understands. But
That's
few games
crazy.
capture effectively. Each enemy
That's
has a
crazy
unique telegraphed
good.
attack, and if you time your response precisely, your counterattack lands with devastating force.
I
It's a
mean,
simple-
most games have lag, so it's understandable that they rely on the dice roll, because it's like the best way to make sure that things are being fair. But I don't know, if this works like pretty smoothly, I can't attest to that because obviously I haven't played the game. Like, this is incredible. Like, this is great.
Yet deeply
Kind of reminds me of
satisfying
Where
system.
Winds Meet.
But is it enough to save the MMO? Wading through the damp cave, you feel the darkness closing in. Each step sinking into the pools of mud, scarred by battle. Emerging from the cavern, you're met by a spectral archer, untouchable by your sword. This moment introduces the game's dual weapon system and the flexible approach to character building that defines its combat philosophy. Imagine blending Albion Online, Final Fantasy XIV, and Guild Wars 2 into a single MMO cocktail. The result would taste remarkably like Throne and Liberty. Like Albion Online, you are what you wear. Heavy armor suits tanks. Medium armor serves melee DPS and archers. And cloth empowers healers and mages. Like Final Fantasy XIV, you can theoretically master every weapon combination on a single character.
Oh, so your character are tied to their weapons. Oh, I understand now. I was wondering why you haven't spoken about classes until now. So you can essentially put everything on one character and you're good to go. Obviously, you need to kind of specialize in whatever you want to choose first, but eventually can you become everything? That's interesting.
As in Guild Wars 2,
I never was a huge fan of it. Same thing with Guild Wars 2, which I always talk about, but Guild Wars 2 have specializations which are the true bread and butter, and that's what makes it different and actually really fun. But if everything is just tied to the weapon, you need to be extremely careful with that. Not many people are going to be huge fan of this.
excluding the elementalist,
Guild Wars 2 is kind of the
every
exception.
character can wield two weapons at once. Unfortunately, Throne and Liberty borrows from these great systems without expanding upon them. Instead of refining their ideas, it just echoes them. It's also here that you discover that Throne and Liberty offers both action and tab target camera modes. Ranged playstyles feel more natural with the action setup, while melee combat benefits from the articulation of tab targeting. Both systems feel functional and enjoyable, though overall a touch clunkier than the smooth responsiveness found in other modern MMOs.
Man, I love the fact that he's comparing this game to Guild Wars 2 a lot, because Guild Wars 2 has been popping off recently, and I'm so glad to see that more people are talking about this game, because right now I'm having a blast playing it. It's such a good game.
As you flee the throngs of masquerading undead, the game introduces morphing. One smart design decision in this sequence is the clear visual guidance provided amidst the chaos of battle. This design foresight inspires confidence. It signals that the developers are mindful of the player experience. You're then tasked with combining everything you've learned so far. Yet, as your confidence builds,
Oh, God.
your opponent suddenly transforms
Don't
into
kill her,
the
please.
introductory nemesis.
Let her live.
Let's take a look.
I would have. Oh, that's great. Come on. God bless. God bless. If this was a Western game, you know she would have been bald. Gandalf? Oh, shit. Damn. I wonder what the budget of this game is. Seems to be pretty huge. I guess they were really betting on it being more successful. Oh, damn. Nice save. You could have, like, casted a barrier or something. You didn't have to block it yourself. Oh, he evaporated. God damn. So she's, like, the main villain? Damn, that was cool.
After choosing your name, you open the door, accompanied by a forceful over-the-shoulder camera transition. This cinematic cue signals key moments in the main story, so pay attention each time it occurs. Even without understanding Korean, the voice acting feels grounded and expressive.
Wait, you
The
don't
tutorial
have English
continues
localization?
Intuitively. It teaches through play. Color-coded dialogue and environmental prompts are natural extensions of the pace of the story.
I mean, I thought this game would have been voice acted. I guess I was wrong. But that's okay, it's not the best. Usually I love playing on the... Oh my god.
And the world
Jesus.
design astonishes. Vast vistas
God
tease
damn.
your gaze deep into the horizon. Sunlight filters through canopies, textures feel tangible, and the camera captures light as if the player itself were the lens. In what
Wow.
becomes a rarity, even spectacle has substance. The colossal flying whale isn't just environmental flair, but an active world creature that grants buffs to players underneath or riding on top of it. Yet the
Really?
brilliance of this tutorial
That's cool.
only makes what follows more disappointing. Early
Yep.
moments. Lottie's vaulting, the camaraderie of forest battles, the morphing dwarf,
Oh.
and the introduction of your Amatoy companion. Suggests systems rich with depth, but those ideas rarely mature beyond this opening act. By the time the seamless transition to the mainland closes the tutorial, Throne and Liberty has already delivered its finest hour. A world that begins in wonder, only to settle into imitation,
Damn.
echoing MMOs whose systems are deeper, richer.
So basically, it packs the strongest punch at the beginning, and that's pretty much it. It loses all strengths. That sucks, man, because by the opening sequence, if you just show me that, I would have 100% downloaded and played the game right now. It's crazy. It looks so good. Combat looks fire. Game graphics are insane. It looks smooth. It has like these insanely good cinematics as well. So many good points, right? And then you see the systems implemented inside of it and realize they're so shallow and void of any interesting like meaning. And yeah, it just, it all falls apart. It just sucks so bad. And then, of course, the pay-to-win element, right? Everything else kind of pale in comparison. But yeah, I would never play a pay-to-win game. Like, never. I don't care. Like, I just can't. I would never do that.
And more engaging. Introductions in MMOs should function like appetizers, enticing previews that showcase the game's core mechanics before deeper exploration. But in Throne and Liberty's case, the appetizer becomes the main course.
The music
and
is so good,
dessert
too.
As the story
Bald
unfolds,
eagle.
new systems appear, yet few truly change how you engage with the world itself. Mastery offers statistical boosts without granting new tools. Artifacts rhyme with Guild Wars 2's runes, but serve more as gatekeepers than
Oh
cauldrons
man,
of
how many
experimentation.
systems you have?
And the rune book presents choice and name only, a mere echo of Diablo's 2's rune words.
Dude, again, makes you just wonder, why to have all of these systems if they're super shallow? It's better to have one big system that is so flashed out, it would just make every other game looks bad in comparison, instead of having like 6 different shallow systems that nobody really cares for. It just overwhelms the player initially, and it just makes the game less fun, straight up. It's just so weird that they always opt for all of these obscure systems, which I guess they do to kind of just keep them pay-gated and, you know, resource-gated, because I know that Eastern MMOs love doing that. They love putting systems behind certain resource that you need to grind or pay for. But it's just such a bad treatment. You shouldn't really do this in an MMORPG ever. But I guess they'll never learn, man. I really hope that one day they do.
Gear enhancement, reminiscent of Conquer Online's item leveling system, loses its spirit. Active and passive skills follow the same logic. They grow stronger, not broader. To its credit, skill specialization allows modest experimentation. Damage conversions, single target to AoE swaps, and debuff options.
Interesting.
But Guild
Okay,
Wars
finally.
1 reached that level of flexibility before
Yep.
its prologue was even over. A strange irony, considering both MMOs.
I need to
share
play
the same
Guild Wars
publisher.
1.
The result is a world
The
of
Reforged.
breathtaking beauty with no mechanical imagination. A spreadsheet masquerading as an MMO. To understand why Throne and Liberty feels so conflicted, we have to remember its lineage. The long and winding development of Throne and Liberty, originally announced in 2011 as Lineage Eternal, then later rebranded as Project TL, reveals
I
much
remember
about
that.
why the game looks spectacular yet feels hollow. Its story also fails to distinguish itself. While I find the
skip
inclusion
the
of a
cutscenes.
single-player style main quest in an MMO misguided, one could fairly argue that Throne and
But
Liberty
to be fair, each story in every like Eastern game that I've played sucked, except for Where Winds Meet, which was insane, and Black Myth Wukong, obviously. Like, these are the 2 newest games that actually came out, and this is why I think that Eastern developers are starting to cook hard, and they're gonna take over the entire genre, because Where Winds Meet and Black Myth Wukong's story is insane. It's incredible while still being uncompromising to and not trying to cater to the Western audience. It still remains true to its origins, and I love that. There's something that I don't understand, and I need to start looking online, or people just explain to me in the comments, but it's so good. Like, it's so good. And I'm just scratching the surface with Where Winds Meet, because obviously I'm still in, like, Kaifeng.
campaign at least commands
Not Kaifeng, like, sorry, the earlier one. I'm getting, like, mixed up with names, sorry.
visual attention.
The problem is that it lacks an emotional anchor. Powell Sasko, quest director at CD Projekt Red, once warned of the fire and ember trap. Stories that burn bright with spectacle, yet leave no warmth behind.
Yeah,
Throne and
they're known
Liberty's
for
narrative
that.
exemplifies that pitfall.
Its design contradictions run deeper still. Both open world and instance dungeons rely on a special currency to claim loot. Because leveling to 55 is trivial through the main story alone, experience gains are meaningless, and efficiency dictates player behavior. Communities quickly identified optimal farming zones, leaving most of the world deserted. In one dungeon group, I was politely told not to fight. Attacking would waste our shared currency. It's a fascinating but
Really?
dispiriting
Shared
display of
currency?
the Praetor principle.
What?
20% of the world, absorbing
What the hell is
80%
that?
of its activity. The tragedy is that Throne and Liberty systems are designed to encourage exploration, yet its progression model selects the opposite.
Yeah, you have conflict of interest. Or conflict. Don't know why I said it like an idiot. It's a damn shame. This game could have had so much potential, it seems like. And it kind of ended up just fumbling like that. It's so
Throne
disheartening
and
to
Liberty
see.
stands as a cautionary tale, a game that reaches for greatness and grasps only contradiction. If the developers reinvest in its core systems to foster genuine emergent gameplay, expand mechanically interesting builds and movement morphs, and fix the current currency bias that limits organic progression, then Throne and Liberty could become a beloved MMORPG worthy of its lineage. Perhaps one day, its contradiction will become its redemption. But for now, it remains a superficially stunning title whose mechanical depth scarcely rivals pre-Searing Guild Wars 1.
And he
fact,
likes Guild Wars.
I think I'll go
I love
play
this
Guild
guy.
Wars 1 right now.
He's great.
Thanks for watching, and subscribe
Yeah.
for more MMO content.
This was a great video. This was a fantastic video. I enjoyed this a lot. He was so thorough, and the things he spoke about were like really great points. He had some really insanely good points there. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description, obviously, as usual. You guys make sure you watch this video. Give this man a like and a sub. He deserved that. That was such a fantastic video. And yeah, I pretty much said all that I had to, but at the same time, it just feels so bad watching a game with this much potential being sent down the drain because of just obscure systems that make no sense. And even if they do earn money, I think you can gain so much more if you just get rid of all of these systems that stall the player and just paygate everything and just ship the game as a coherent experience that just puts everyone at the same level. I think that would have been so great because I would have played this game. And I don't mind coughing up a few bucks as well if this game was subscription based, as long as it was fun. Like, I really don't care, and I think most players are like me. I'm not gonna lie, I do think that. And, you know, it just at the end of the day, it's just unfortunate to see an MMO fumble. Because, you know, I'm an MMO player, I'm an MMO lover. And whenever I see that, it always makes my heart ache just a little. But that being said, it is to be expected at this point. It's kind of unfortunate, but it's reality.